Hello, all you freedom-loving people. Welcome to another episode of Front Page. I'm your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. The White House sees no harm in the mystery surrounding the Defense Secretary's whereabouts, but lawmakers aren't about to let it go. Last week's Boeing accident triggered emergency inspections of similar aircraft by various airlines, and the results of these inspections will scare us all. President Trump launched another round of legal counterattacks to have his Fulton County, Georgia election case dismissed, and he's making a good case. More of the Epstein documents have been released, and Hillary Clinton's role has been revealed. The French government cabinet recorded a staff reshuffle. Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne fell victim to Macron's unpopular policies, and German soccer legend Beckenbauer has passed away. Okay, let's get into it. President Joe Biden is not considering firing Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, despite the fact that Austin did not notify the White House in a timely manner of his hospitalization. President Trump on Sunday urged Biden to fire Austin for the delayed announcement regarding his stay at the hospital, but four senior administration officials told Politico that Biden has no plan to fire him. Austin's going nowhere, one official told Politico. One official pointed out that, among other things, Biden would not accept Austin's resignation if he offered it. The Pentagon has also announced that Austin does not intend to resign. The White House has said that Biden has confidence in the leadership of the 70-year-old retired Army four-star general despite Austin's scandals. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said that Biden looks forward to having him back at the Pentagon as soon as possible, and that Biden respects the fact that Secretary Austin took ownership for the lack of transparency. He also respects the amazing job that he's done as Defense Secretary. The White House's main concern right now is Secretary Austin's health and making sure he gets all the care and support that he needs to make a full recovery. However, legislators feel that this matter is of such significance that it deserves more than just a light touch. Representative Mike Rogers, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, and Adam Smith, the committee's top Democrat, said in a joint statement on Sunday, transparency is vitally important. Secretary Austin must provide these additional details on his health and the decision-making process that occurred in the past week as soon as possible. Senator Jack Reed, the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, said on Monday that this lack of disclosure must not happen again. Representative Matt Rosendale accused Secretary Austin of knowingly violating the law. He said Secretary Austin has violated his oath of office time and time again and has jeopardized the lives of the American people. He cited incidents such as the Biden administration's withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan, the migrant crisis at the border, and last year's Chinese Communist Party spy balloons that flew over the North American continent. Rosendale claimed that he would introduce an impeachment on Tuesday. House Republican Conference Chairwoman Elise Stefanik also called for Austin's resignation on Monday. She argued that this lack of transparency is a major threat to national security. On Friday, a Boeing 737 MAX 9 was involved in an accident after takeoff when an escape door in the rear cabin became detached in midair. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, has ordered the temporary suspension of Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft and requested that they be inspected. United Airlines indicated on Monday that it had found loose door plug bolts on several of its aircraft during the inspection. United said in a statement, "Since we began preliminary inspections on Saturday, we have found instances that appear to relate to installation issues in the door plug, for example, bolts that needed additional tightening." United Airlines found nearly a dozen planes with loose bolts during an initial inspection and that the number could rise. Several industry insiders said that airlines have begun to hear passenger concerns about the safety of the planes, even though only a handful of airlines are using the faulty 737 MAX 9 model. Airline and passenger concerns could add to the pressure on Boeing. Since two Boeing 737 MAX 8s crashed in October of 2018 and in March of 2019, killing a total of 346 people, The 737 MAX has been grounded in various countries. The grounding of the aircraft lasted for 20 months, and Boeing experienced numerous production issues as a result. On Monday, President Trump filed several motions to dismiss the election case in Fulton County, Georgia. In this case, that is overseen by Judge Scott McPhee, President Trump and more than a dozen others face state charges over their challenge of the 2020 election results. President Trump's legal team argues in one of the filings that as president, he is legally entitled to immunity from prosecution. President Trump's lawyers wrote in the Georgia case, the indictment in this case charges President Trump for acts that lie at the heart of his official responsibilities as president. The indictment is barred by presidential immunity and should be dismissed with prejudice. President Trump's legal team, which is led by attorney Steve Sadow, also argue that the historical practice over 234 years in the United States has reaffirmed that the capacity to charge a current or former president does not exist. They added, such immunity is particularly appropriate for the president because the presidency involves especially sensitive duties, requires bold and unhesitating action, and would be crippled by the threat of politically motivated prosecutions. His lawyers stated that contacting state officials regarding the 2020 election was also within his presidential duties. The attorneys also asserted in a separate motion that the case brought by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis should be dismissed based on the Constitution's Fifth Amendment. This is because a defendant cannot be charged twice for the same crime. Before we move on, I want to let you know that we covered some shocking news on our Ganjing World platform about a raid on an Amish farm, which has ignited widespread outrage over government overreach. I'll leave the link in the description below. Please watch it there. Okay, let's get back into it. Judge Tanya Chutkan, who oversees Special Counsel Jack Smith's January 6 case against President Trump in D.C., was the latest victim of swatting. According to the Associated Press, her house was targeted by a fake emergency call on Sunday night. This is the latest in a spat of similar false swatting reports at the homes of public officials in recent days. The Associated Press reported police responded around 10 p.m. to a report of a shooting at a Washington, D.C. home linked in public records to U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan. But officers quickly found out that no shooting happened, the Metropolitan Police Department said on Monday. Several lawmakers and high-profile officials have been victims of swatting since last month. Most of the swatting victims have been Republican officials or conservative reporters. Another batch of documents regarding the Jeffrey Epstein scandal were released on Monday. These documents are part of the defamation case that was brought against Jeffrey Epstein's madame, Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell was sued by Virginia Roberts, who is known now as Virginia Giuffre. Giuffre's lawyers sought all of Maxwell's communications with Bill Clinton and his wife, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The Clintons were part of a list of 13 specific witnesses with whom Giuffre's attorney sought communications. And now on January 8th, newly revealed documents exposed that there are alleged sex tapes of Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson. Let me be particularly clear here, though, that the following are only allegations that were made by Sarah Ransom. As a disclaimer, her accusations about certain people and about the sex tapes have not yet been proven. The witness, Sarah Ransom, said, "When my friend had sexual intercourse with Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson, sex tapes were in fact filmed on each separate occasion by Jeffrey. In the alleged sex tapes, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson's faces are clearly distinguishable." Ransom said that her friend reported to the police that she was forced to have sex with Bill Clinton, Richard Branson, and Prince Andrew on video. But after her friend went to the police in 2008, Hillary Clinton sent her henchmen to threaten Ransom's friend. Ransom explained a couple months later she was then approached by special agent forces men who were sent directly by Hillary Clinton herself in order to protect her presidential campaign in 2008. They heavily intimidated her, ruffled her up, luckily she took photos as evidence, and then forced to sign a confidentiality agreement which ensured that she could never come forward publicly implicating her husband, Bill Clinton. Ransom claims that her friend was then given a substantial payout directly from the Clinton Foundation to keep her quiet. She is 1,000% certain that the FBI did a cover-up, and she has the individual names of Hillary's special agent officers who were involved in intimidating her. She was then forced, against her will, to sign a legally binding confidentiality agreement on Hillary's behalf for her eternal silence. Ransom said if she breaks this agreement, she is dead. Ransom alleges that she has footage of the Bill Clinton, Richard Branson, and Prince Andrew sex tapes backed up on several USB sticks. Ransom also said that she had a kill switch just in case something happened to her. Ransom remarked, "Unfortunately, I cannot send you the footage without her consent due to massive consequences to her safety. But I can confirm that I do have footage in my possession. I have backed up the footage on several USB sticks and have securely sent them to various different locations throughout Europe with only one other person close to me knowing where those locations are just in case anything happens to me before the footage is released." French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne resigned on Monday. President Emmanuel Macron's office said Gabriel Attal, the 34-year-old education minister, is France's new prime minister. Borne, who is 62, has served as the transport minister, ecology minister, and labor minister. She is known as a technocrat and is the second woman to serve as prime minister in France. During the 20 months that Borne has led the government, the French political scene has been in turmoil. Her biggest challenge came with the budget and the controversial pension reform and immigration laws. At Macron's behest, Borne had to get these bills passed, and as a result, she has been criticized for repeatedly forcing these bills through without parliamentary vote. As a result, the government under her leadership has faced more than 30 proposals of mistrust in the parliament. In a post on Macron's X, he thanked Borne for her dedication to her country. Macron called Borne's service exemplary and thanked her wholeheartedly. Her successor, Macron's close ally, Gabriel Attal, was a household name after serving as the spokesperson for the French government during the COVID-19 pandemic. Attal became France's youngest prime minister and the first openly gay prime minister. Attal, one of the most popular political figures in France in recent polls, is known for his shrewdness and for navigating the media and parliament. The staffing shakeup won't necessarily lead to any major political shifts in France, but it shows Macron's desire to try to reverse the unfavorable pension and immigration reforms that were unpopular with voters in 2023 and to improve his centrist party's chances of having a voice in the European Parliament in June. Current polls show Macron's camp trailing the party of right-wing leader Marine Le Pen by about 8 to 10 percentage points in support. German soccer legend Franz Beckenbauer, who became affectionately known as the Kaiser or Emperor, died at the age of 78. Beckenbauer's death was first announced through a statement from his family. The statement reads, "It is with deep sadness that we announce that my husband and our father, Franz Beckenbauer, passed away peacefully in his sleep yesterday, Sunday, surrounded by his family." Born in Munich, Germany in 1945, Beckenbauer started his brilliant soccer career at the age of 19 with Bayern Munich. During his 13 years with Bayern, Beckenbauer helped the team win 3 Champions League championships, 4 Bundesliga championships, and 4 Bundesliga cups. This turned Bayern from a mediocre team into a dominant team in Germany and even Europe. Beckenbauer's achievements after joining the national team were just as great with 3 World Cup appearances in 1966, 1970, and 1974, with the West Germans finishing as runner-ups, 3rd place, and as champions, respectively. He also led West Germany to their first ever European Cup in 1972. He won the Ballon d'Or twice in 1972 and 1976 for his outstanding performances on the pitch. Beckenbauer also played a crucial role in the development of the technical and tactical aspects of soccer. He personalized the position of libero, the free-roaming nominal defender who often moved forward to threaten the opponent's goal. This is a role that has almost disappeared from modern soccer and was rarely seen before him. After retiring, Beckenbauer continued to make a splash as a coach. He became head coach of the West German national team in 1984, and he led the team to the 2nd place in the 1986 World Cup and the 3rd World Cup title in 1990. This makes him one of only 3 men in the history of soccer to have won the World Cup as both captain and coach. Beckenbauer's passing has sparked grief and mourning throughout the soccer world. Bayern Munich posted on its official account, "Suddenly, our world isn't the same as it once was, darker, quieter, and worse off." The record champions are mourning the loss of Franz Beckenbauer, the incomparable Kaiser, without who FC Bayern would never have become the club it is today. German Soccer Federation President Bernd Neuendorf said, "The Kaiser was one of the best players our sport has ever seen. With his lightness, his elegance, and his vision, he set standards on the field. Franz Beckenbauer leaves a great legacy for the Federation and soccer as a whole." And that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for your support of Front Page. Please remember that every like, comment, and share helps more people to see the truth. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, we thank you, but please double check to make sure that you're still subscribed, because some of our audience have reported that they're somehow unsubscribed without their knowledge. We've also heard that many of you don't get notifications of our videos anymore on YouTube. So when you do subscribe on YouTube, please make sure to tap the notification bell as well. Okay, this is our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard today, please don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family, because everybody deserves to know the truth. Again, thank you for watching Front Page, and we will see you next time.